What if the path to living a more vibrant and empowered life, full color, wasn't about doing more, but doing things in a way that matters? Welcome to Say Yes with Kat. If you're ready to move from surviving to thriving and you want doable tools that honor your whole self, mind, body, and spirit, you're in the right place. Are you ready to say yes? Let's dive in. Welcome back to Say Yes with Kat. I'm Kat, and today I get to be here with the lovely Cynthia.
Hi, everyone. Today we're diving into episode 16, Inbox Zen, Holistic Hacks for Workday Sanity. It's perfect timing. We're in the middle of the series, and honestly, a lot of us are feeling the grind. Kids are back in school, budgets and activity planning for 2026 are already underway, and many of us are remembering the 2025 goals that we thought we'd get to later, and now it's later. So it's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and you and I know this sort of corporate world pretty well. You're still leading a corporate job while helping me out with Yes to Holistic Health. And I spent 15 years leading global trade teams in corporate life. I mean, we've literally lived and are living the chaos of this world. And today, what we want to do for our listeners is we want to share our real strategies that we have worked very hard to integrate that help us breathe easier and basically reclaim our sanity at work. So we're excited today.
Nice, yes. Let's start with the obvious. Burnout and decision fatigue are everywhere. Studies show that around 3 p.m. our brain chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, which are the feel-good stuff, naturally dip, and it makes it harder for us to focus and make decisions. And in the constant pings of email, chat, meetings, our nervous system gets overwhelmed and stuck in this stress mode of fight, flight, or freeze. And that happens a lot.
Yeah, it does. I mean, occupational health is one of the 8 holistic pillars for a reason. When we are constantly under this kind of stress at work, it ripples into our sleep, our physical health, even our relationships. And I mean, research shows that high job strain is linked to the cardiovascular disease and anxiety disorders. That last one, I 100% believe.
Yeah. And there are small rituals we can put into place for ourselves, for our teams at work, that can dramatically shift that energy. And I said small, so think micro habits, not big overhauls. One of my favorite rituals is breath resets. You're already breathing, so this should be pretty simple. It's just a 2-minute pause. You can use something like box breathing, where you inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, and you just repeat that cycle, or even just counting your breaths up to 10. So this is simple, but it can really help calm your nervous system.
And I really love pairing that same kind of breathing intention with movement. So one of the Qigong exercises that I teach in many of my classes is the golden ball, because you can do it any time of the day. It's this sort of simple, easy moving meditation, and it will just reset your energy so quickly. We'll put a link to this and the other hacks and stuff that we give you guys in the show notes today.
Golden ball is absolutely one of my favorites. So yeah, I really love that one too. And the good news is that science backs this up. Quick rituals like this reduce cortisol levels, improve clarity, and boost focus.
Yeah, they're super important. One of the things that I was very proud of myself for introducing to my team and often campaigned at the companies I worked for to make this automatic was to schedule meetings so that they ended 5 minutes early or they started 5 minutes late off of the hour. And what it did is it sort of built in this natural pause for everybody to reset between the meetings instead of that back to back to back. It was a lot.
Yeah, and I think that's great. It's always such a relief in the day to have that little 5 minutes to reset, go to the bathroom, do whatever you need to do. Otherwise, you're just so stressed running around.
And we know if you don't schedule it, it doesn't happen, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's talk about another monster, email. I mean, I remember I started a job one time and I had an email with my name, right? It wasn't a generic email. Day one, people, like 10 o'clock in the morning, I had over 100 emails. And it literally felt endless in that position until I got some better tools for myself. So let's introduce introduce a science nugget here for you around these emails, and it's something I didn't know in my head, but I understood in my body. Did you know that every single unread email is actually a micro decision?
Right, because even if you don't open the email, your brain's already starting to ask these questions. Do I read it now? Do I read it later? Do I delete it? Do I respond? Ignore it? Like, how important is this? So you're making these little choices in the background of your mind that register in your nervous system.
Yeah.
Take up space in your brain.
Yep. And even if you kind of don't open it and the email's just living in the ether, it's an unresolved choice. And that unresolved choice adds up and it becomes what we call cognitive load. And trust me, people, there is only so much of this you can carry on your back every day. Even before you open it, your brain is registering, hey, excuse me, this is a decision that's waiting for you, and it puts it in line. And you start to build this like queue of decisions that you need to make.
In psychology, we call that decision fatigue.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, fatigue is a perfect word for it because it's a mental drain that's happening and it's getting worse and worse throughout our day. Did you know that the average worker actually receives 120 emails of these every day? So they get 120 people in line.
I believe it because I woke up the other day and had 75 emails in my inbox, and I was wondering, with the global teams and things, people are working hours you're sleeping, and then you just wake up and there's still more stuff to do. So yeah. I believe it. There's also the Zeigarnik effect. And that's just saying that our brains dislike unfinished tasks. So an unread email feels like an open loop, quietly demanding closure in the background and taking up space, like I mentioned. And these unfinished tasks lower your focus and ability to do other work.
Yeah, I mean, they're taking up your mental bandwidth. And the other thing that's happening, so even if you don't open the email, it still interrupted you, right? The inbox kind of nudged your brain. And we call this attention switching. And every time you switch your attention from something, there's a cost involved with that. And you pay for it with your working memory, with your work efficiency. And studies are showing that when you're interrupted, even by something as simple as that bing in your email inbox, it can take up to 23 minutes to refocus fully on what you were looking at before you heard it.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I remember I kind of hit this point in my career where, like I mentioned, this email monster, it just felt out of control. And I got to tell you, it was like my mental capacity had sandbags that were just being slung on top of it every time I saw my email count go up.
Me too. Sometimes I would feel like I wasn't getting anything accomplished or that much accomplished because I was so tired. And it was just this mental drain of kind of skimming across things, checking on things, checking these emails, but not really getting anything done. And it was very draining. But we helped each other out and discovered that batching, filtering, and even muting notifications isn't laziness. It's a smart productivity hack. You're actually protecting your focus and energy by doing these things.
Yeah, I mean, I remember sort of discussing what each of us were finding work, talking about the things that made us uncomfortable. One of the ones that I introduced was the away message, right? Instead of just saying, I'll be gone from this day to this day and I'll return on this day. One, I made it funny. I called it the email monster. And I asked people to help me fight it by understanding I'm not checking my email while I'm out of the office and continuing to trust my team to manage issues while I was gone, and then communicating in my away message, I'm getting back on this date. If you still need my involvement, if you need me to take action on something, let me know and I'll deal with it. And then literally when I would get back, I would select all, I would make them all red so that the email count wasn't stressing me out. And not only did that start to work for me so that I could return from vacation and continue to enjoy my reset, but other people started mimicking that as well. And we all got a lot better and a lot more respectful when we were out of town.
Yeah, I stole that one from you and started using it. It really does help. It's a good one. Yeah. One of the things I started to do as well with having the global teams and waking up to so many emails and getting back from vacation also is I will filter the emails by subject and then use Copilot, or you could use whatever AI you have, to go to the top email in that subject group and have it summarize for you. And it'll summarize that whole group of emails for you. And then you can get a quick overview and know whether you need to do anything. And then they're all just there together and you can delete them all at the same time. And that's been super helpful for me. And I shared that with my teams, and they love it. And so everybody's kind of doing that now to help keep their inbox a little cleaner and be more efficient.
Yeah. Now, we were both uncomfortable with AI at first, right?
Yeah. Yeah, me especially, yeah.
But, I mean, what you did was when you first started using the tool and it would summarize it, you would kind of go back and vet it and validate it so that you could build the confidence that the tool was actually summarizing for you and not setting you up, right?
Right.
Yeah. That was a big barrier, I think, for both of us, was starting to learn how to embrace these AI tools. For me, the pivot point was I was on a educational webinar about AI, and what they said was, I often get this question of, is AI going to replace my job? And the answer that I give to them is AI will not replace your job, but the person who knows how to use AI efficiently, that's the person that's going to replace your job. And it was very eye-opening for me. Yeah, it was crazy. So one other hack I want to share real quick, texting, okay? There's misunderstandings. They can be very long. They can turn into novels. You have people who want to use shorthand, people who want to use whole sentences. And I have just found that a long text chain doesn't produce the result you're looking for. And I've started using sort of short audio notes because it's faster. I don't have to figure out all the typos that are in there. It's easier for the person to listen to. But in addition to that, my tone is coming through correctly. Yeah. So we started using this in our personal life, and I used it just the other day in the holistic health life and the new job, and it works out really well. So consider switching from long text chains to short audio notes.
The other small shift we both made was starting to put some barriers and boundaries around things. And boundaries aren't selfish, they're survival. So saying no, or even not right now, is strategically one of the best things that you can do to prevent burnout. So I'll admit, it takes some getting used to. I prided myself on being really responsive and available to a fault. So putting boundaries around was a little uncomfortable for me at first, but I started to do it. I encouraged my team to do the same, and modeling, they've thanked me for modeling it for them. And so they've started doing it as well. So it's kind of something you have to show people, especially if you're in a managerial position, to show your team that it's okay to do this and to have some boundaries. So for example, I'd be sitting in a meeting and it would be droning on and on. There was really seemed to be no value add to my being there. So I would just politely interrupt or put it in the chat and say, is there anything for clinical to talk about here, or can we drop? So often it was, no, go ahead, so you didn't need to be there in the first place, and I got all that time back. So that was helpful. But the boundaries are going to be different for each person. So you have to figure out, what you're comfortable with and where to start, and give it a shot. It's worth it.
Yeah, one of the boundaries that I put in place that was pretty uncomfortable at first was kind of around the meetings. And it was, the corporate world is starting to say, hey, we're going to block Friday afternoons or Monday mornings, and we're going to ask that people not have meetings. Or maybe I've created a personal block so that I can have some time to actually do some deep focus work, and people would violate that. And I had to find my courage and contact these meeting organizers and say, hey, look, we're not supposed to be meeting at these times so that people can focus and really get our work done and we can be a more successful business. And it wasn't well received. I was working in a global organization and they sometimes felt, well, no, we absolutely need to have this meeting. And when I challenged them, we often found alternative solutions to having the meeting at that time and really started to protect one another's meeting space. And less of that happened. And in addition to that, when you're in a meeting, you're now more present and you're more focused, which means you're bringing more of a value add. And when you're that person in the room, that's the person everyone listens to.
Yes, the one who speaks when it's necessary and doesn't just waste time.
So creating these boundaries means you're also going to start to create your power at work.
What were some of the alternatives you guys found?
So we might have a meeting recorded at a different time for like a different time zone, and then you would commit to listening to it within a business day and giving your thoughts back. That only worked if you were the person that didn't need to give live feedback during the meeting, but it was more like a safety cushion, kind of giving last thoughts and helping someone polish up an idea. We would conduct the meeting by email. So it was sort of summarized for us, more of a report. People could read, give feedback, and that worked out pretty well. But solutions were often found.
Yeah, I think now with AI, again, you can record the meetings and get summaries that way too if you have it through work. So that's helpful.
Yeah.
So short story, we both learned that boundaries aren't about shutting people out. They're about creating space so you can actually show up fully when you're in the meetings and with people.
Yep. You reclaim your sanity.
Absolutely.
And your voice at work. Yep.
So here's the recap. Try short rituals, breath resets, inbox hacks, meeting shifts, and boundaries that actually stick. And remember, it's okay to feel hesitant at first because we did too.
Yes, we did. And don't try these all at once.
No,
okay?
please don't.
just pick one hack this week and then notice how it shifts your energy and clarity as well as the energy and clarity of those around you.
And next time we'll be diving into episode 17, ways to heal your relationship with money. So you don't want to miss that.
Yep. Until then, say yes to your health and to a little inbox zen. I'd love to hear from you. Please share what hack you started using on our private Facebook page or any of our other social media outlets. Before you leave, please share the wealth of health by liking and subscribing to our channel. And remember, this is your journey. It's all about taking these small, meaningful steps towards a healthier, happier you, full color. Until next time, say yes to your well-being and take care.
The content of this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. Please consult a licensed healthcare provider before beginning any new health practice. Do not ignore or delay seeking medical advice because of something shared in this episode. If you're experiencing a medical emergency, call 911 or visit your nearest emergency room. Listening does not create a practitioner-client relationship. Yes to Holistic Health makes no guarantees regarding outcomes based on the information provided. Copyright notice, Yes to Holistic Health, all rights reserved. This content may be shared for nonprofit educational purposes with credit to Yes to Holistic Health. No commercial use without written permission.